one more thing for the people that's watching on YouTube. I need y'all to hit that notification bell and make sure you select the option that says get all notifications from this channel right now. Do it. Do not wait.
It's important, man.
Yes,
Y'all want
sir.
to hear the content? You got to hit that notification bell. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so ASAP Rocky, I'm gonna play the part actually where he was in court today. He was testifying in his trial that took place today in Sweden. I'm gonna play a quick excerpt from that. We're gonna talk about that. Then we're gonna talk about Rick Ross says what he thinks is gonna happen with the outcome of this trial. Here's ASAP Rocky in court.
We saw bottles on the floor and we picked them up. We didn't want them to get the bottles. We didn't want them to have them in their possession. At that moment, some African girls came over and they decided to help and try to mediate the situation. We told them to ask the guys to leave us alone and to stop following us. They disregarded that too, what the young ladies were saying. At this point, I woke up the block and I start to notice that Tim walks down the block to tell the girls, you know, please tell them, leave us alone, leave us alone. And these guys were following again. As far as the bottles go, I held it momentarily because I realized it was stupid, especially when they didn't have it in their possession. It wasn't necessary for me to have it, so I put it down. Tim asked the girls to call the cops because we didn't know the number. Good afternoon, Your Honor, the cops, because we didn't know the number to 911. And for some reason that day in Sweden, Uber didn't want to work either. We were having problems with Uber and we were having problems with the scooters. The guys walked back up to us where Tim is standing and they started to approach him. At this moment, both of the guys attacked Tim. That's when I intervened and I threw to the ground and I stepped on his arm. I kicked his arm and I punched him or shoved him. And at that moment, my friends came to help and Tim also arrived. At that moment is when I stood up and I turned around. I saw a friend charging at me. Shoved for a bit and pulled for a bit. Right after that, my security guard, Tim, came and turned me around and woke me up the block. The cops.
All right, so that's an excerpt there. Obviously, there's more, you know, ASAP Rocky in court trying to explain himself, you know, to the Swedish prosecution over there, Sam. And what is your thoughts on this, man? ASAP Rocky taking a stand, testifying for his freedom.
I totally believe him, 100% believe him. When you look through and you see the videotape and you hear the statements, you hear that the gentlemen were obviously harassing ASAP Rocky for hours on hours. And a lot of the questions that we asked is, yo, why didn't you call security? Would ASAP Rocky be a snitch if he tried to call the cops? What was up with the Uber? He answered all those questions. For some reason in Sweden, that Uber wasn't working today. He had a security have the females reach out to the police so that they can try to get that situation rectified. They tried to get out. They tried to dodge. And it seemed like, and we also brought this up, it's only a point where a man could get pushed before he has to lash out and come back. Now, on video, it didn't look good. We seen the bottles. Like, damn, why do you got the bottle? We answered that question because there was bottles out there and they didn't want to get injured. So they grabbed it for their protection and put them down and left it alone. Why did he throw him in the street? Well, he threw him in the street in retaliation to the man hitting his security. So, okay, everything's lined up. Everything's making sense. Does it matter, though? I don't know.
It may not. I mean, Rick Ross, you know, he sat down with Big Boy's Neighborhood, that show, and he was asked about it. He pretty much came out and said he thinks he's going to be found guilty no matter what in that situation. Now, I think he was facing anywhere up to 6 years maximum with this whole this assault that happened over there. I'm not so sure 100% that I agree with him being, you know, maybe he may be found guilty, but I'm not sure he's going to get the maximum time. He may get, you know, lesser time than anybody else, but they got a lot of this on camera. The victim had injury and everything, so it's just not going to be a situation where he probably going to just be able to slide away with, like you see a lot of people in America that happens. They're able to pay settlements and different things. This is a whole different ball game, a whole different country where they're going to prosecute people the way they want to do it, forgetting about, they don't give a damn if he's ASAP Rocky, a rapper. They can care less about any of that. So I just think that, you know, I hope it ends good for him, because it was one of those situations where we've seen it play out, but it's just the way the things are set up and who you are and the situation you was in. you're probably going to end up getting the shit end of the stick. I'm sorry to say.
I feel like this is a little different though, in the sense that this was self-defense. And I know his lawyers are playing that role, and they're playing that card. And when you look at it and you hear a statement, how isn't this self-defense? No, I don't know how Swedish law works. I have no fucking clue. I got a hard enough time figuring out how Jersey law works. So I don't know what their laws are on self-defense, but this is obviously a case where this is self-defense. And okay, you could be found guilty, but he should be going home. He's been out there now for a month,
right,
doing it, sitting behind bars, terrible conditions for defending himself to begin with all of these things and hurdles getting in his way. And I'm not justifying his behavior, because I still think even through all that, ASAP Rocky, man, you can't put your hands on him. You gotta walk away. They got the camera on you. They're trying to set you up.
Right.
But all that being said, I think that self-defense plays a key role in this. And if Swedish law has a self-defense law at all, this should fall under it. Shit.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we will see. I'm sure it shouldn't take too long to get to the outcome of this particular case. And like I said, we will definitely keep everybody updated on this. But right now, we've seen it, you know, the circumstances behind it. It appears like it was self-defense. So we could definitely say free ASAP Rocky, and hopefully, you know, he gets a positive outcome with that situation over there in Sweden, man.
Well, I mean, one of the top rappers out here in the game right now, album dropping August 9th, Port of Miami 2, Rick Ross, former CO.
Right.
He seems to believe that ASAP might be in a little bit of trouble.
Right.
Do you want to play that audio for the people?
Do you see that coming also? What's going on with ASAP in Sweden?
I mean, if somebody detain you for 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, let's say they find you guilty and decide they're going to prosecute you on Thursday. Your trial begins the following Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck difference is going to happen from you deciding to prosecute me Thursday to my trial beginning Tuesday?
Mm-hmm.
You know they're going to find him guilty.
Damn.
Mm.
He's already, you going to find him guilty. It's fucked up.
Damn. Man, and we hear people that say, man, I'm not going to Sweden. But, you know, there's fans out there. How do you detach yourself from what's going on with ASAP and still being able to satisfy Rose fans? Are you on a Sweden boycott?
You know, I can't say that. But most
woke me up the block, the cops.
He pretty much just said he thinks he's gonna be found guilty. I mean, that was pretty much the summation of the whole thing. So yeah, I mean, he got his reasons why he thinks that. Probably, he pretty much cited that. What's the difference between you doing it then or doing it later?
Right.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just think it's something we're gonna have to just wait and see and play out before we can, you know, talk too much further, you know, on that situation. I didn't see the videotape, but you've seen it. So I'm gonna go off your judgment with that one. And yeah, it looks like it's gonna be an open and shut kind of thing, though.
We'll see.
Yeah. Definitely. But yeah, definitely tune into the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast today with your brother Old God and Sam. And this is a crazy story right here, man. We seen this yesterday on Instagram. Jay Prince, he posted what I thought looked like an e-pill to me. Now, obviously, you know, he put this caption out on his Instagram. He said, in all my adult life, I have tried to avoid being set up by law enforcement in the street. I vowed with an oath to God in my early 20s to never contribute to this aspect of the game anymore in my lifetime. So you can only imagine how I'm feeling about this violation taking place in the streets of Houston with my brand Rap-A-Lot Records on a narcotics pill. Now, he's pissed because pretty much after this, he's asking the streets to pretty much give him information. He also said, which I thought was very, you know, telling. He said, if the police or if the streets are behind this, he wants to know about it. What was your initial thought, SamAnt, when you seen this? Do you think that this is something sinister, federal, or you think it's some cat in the street just playing games? As you know how you mean, everybody knows the game. I was talking about the e-pill game, how they had tricks up, holes down, all types of crazy names on to smack your mom in the face. So do you think it's one of those things, or you think it's the feds trying to set him up?
I think it's one of those things, but I don't blame him for having that level of paranoia to think that could happen, because it's happened to him. And if you read his book or heard any of his stories, he gives you detailed accounts of dealing with federal people,
Facts.
ununiformed, in
Yeah.
real life situations where guns were drawn on both ends, and God, thank you, everybody walked away safely because people would have died that day. So I don't put it out of the realm of speculation, but it might just we know how kids work. We know how this shit go. Bill Bushwick Bill just died. So the Ghetto Boy, so it was real hot. Rap-A-Lot Records was back in the news, back in the in the frame of things. He's real popular in Houston. So obviously that would be a popular one to hit off. So I think it's one of those things. My question to you is, oh God, because now we've seen a little bit of a pattern with Jay Prince jumping to social media to explain himself, air out grievances that typically wouldn't be aired out by him on social media. Is that a good or a bad thing in your opinion?
I mean, I'll be honest, I was kind of thinking like that's kind of, silly a little bit. Obviously, I mean, first of all, obviously it's for attention. You want to get the attention out there, but one, the media outlets who are going to pick it up, but two, the people in the streets, they get you the information. But how smart is it to actually post up, which is a narcotic pill, with your label, you know what I'm saying, on Instagram? Like, it could just bring the wrong type of attention, your way. But obviously he wanted to make a message, and sometimes you have to do it this way, whether, like back in the day dealing with the COINTELPRO and stuff, people had to put them on